Hi, I'm Hattie. Ever since I was little, I've been the forgotten child in my family. Today's my 21st birthday, and I actually thought things might be different. I spent the morning getting ready for the dinner my parents promised at Carlucci's, the fancy Italian place downtown. For once, it felt like they remembered something important to me. I even dipped into my savings to buy a new dress, something nice enough to match the occasion. You look beautiful, honey, Monica said when she dropped by to give me her gift, a silver bracelet with a little charm that reminded her of our freshman year mishap in chemistry lab. Thanks, Mon. I'm actually excited. Mom mentioned they had something special planned. The restaurant was fancier than anywhere we'd been as a family. Crystal glasses, white tablecloths, the works. Dad ordered champagne, and I felt grown up for once. To Hattie's 21st, Dad said, raising his glass. Quite a milestone. I couldn't help smiling. Maybe they did care. Actually, Mom cut in, we have some news. We've made a decision about the car. The car. I'd been saving for 2 years, and my parents had agreed to match what I saved to help me buy my first car. I had the paperwork ready to go to the dealership tomorrow. We've decided Jake needs it more, Mom continued, sliding a set of keys across the table to my 18-year-old brother. For college visits, Jake smirked. Thanks, guys. That's awesome. I sat there frozen. But I saved for 2 years. We had an agreement. Plans change, Dad said flatly. Jake's future is important. And mine isn't? My voice cracked. Mom pursed her lips. Don't make a scene, Hattie. You're being dramatic as usual. But that's not fair. I couldn't hold back anymore. I worked double shifts all summer for that down payment. Life isn't fair, Mom snapped. Jake has potential. You don't deserve anything special just for existing. The restaurant seemed to go silent. I felt everyone staring. That's enough, Evelyn, came a voice from behind me. Aunt Martha, Mom's sister, who I didn't even know was coming, stood there with a gift bag in hand. This isn't your business, Martha, Dad warned. It became my business when you decided to humiliate your daughter on her birthday. Aunt Martha put her hand on my shoulder. Hattie, honey, let's go. I looked at my family. Mom annoyed, Dad dismissive, Jake playing with the keys to my car. This isn't new, is it? I said quietly. You've always loved him more? Don't be ridiculous, Mom said, but she couldn't meet my eyes. I stood up, legs shaking. Thank you for making things perfectly clear. As Aunt Martha and I walked out, I felt something shift inside me. This wasn't just about a car. This was about years of being second best, of never being good enough. I'm done, I whispered to Aunt Martha as we reached her car. They have no idea what they just started. Aunt Martha's spare room wasn't much, but it beat staying another night under my parents' roof. I collapsed onto the twin bed, still in my birthday dress. You take as long as you need, honey, Aunt Martha said, setting a cup of tea on the nightstand. Family doesn't treat family that way. 3 days into my stay, I was sorting through old mail when I found something strange. A tuition bill showing my scholarship had been reduced. That can't be right, I muttered, grabbing my laptop. When I logged into my student account, my stomach dropped. The college fund my grandparents started was nearly empty. I called the financial aid office immediately. This is Hattie Lawson. I'm checking on withdrawals from my college fund account. The woman on the phone paused. Yes, there were several withdrawals authorized by your parents over the past year. The most recent was last month, $15,000. I felt sick. $15,000? Right when Jake got his new gaming setup and Mom and Dad took that Bahamas trip. Aunt Martha found me crying at the kitchen table. When I explained, her face hardened. There's something else you should know. Your grandmother Elizabeth left specific provisions for you in her will. Your parents were only trustees. The next morning, Aunt Martha drove me to a downtown office building to meet Mr. Reynolds, my grandmother's attorney. I've been trying to reach you for months, Miss Lawson, he said, shaking my hand firmly. Your grandmother left you her lake house property and a trust fund that matures on your 21st birthday, which I understand was recently. I never knew about any lake house, I said, stunned. Mr. Reynolds frowned. Your parents signed acknowledgments as trustees. They were legally obligated to inform you. He pulled out documents showing my parents had been collecting rental income from the property for years, money that should have been deposited in my trust. This is embezzlement, Mr. Reynolds said simply. You have options. That evening, my phone buzzed with Jake's name. What's your problem? Mom says you're spreading lies. They gave you my car and stole my inheritance. How am I the problem? They've always given you everything. I'm the one who has to live up to expectations. Are you serious? They emptied my college fund for your stuff? That's not true. They said that money was always meant for whoever needed it most. Yeah? Well, Grandma Elizabeth's will says differently. Ask them about the lake house. The line went silent. Then, what lake house? Exactly. You don't even know what they've been hiding. After hanging up, I called Monica. I need your help. My parents have been stealing from me for years. Whatever you need, Hat. I'm there. Remember when you interned at the county records office? I need to learn how to search property records. 2 days later, Monica and I spread documents across Aunt Martha's dining table, property deeds, bank statements, and rental agreements. Look at this, Monica pointed. The rental income from the lake house matches the deposits into Jake's college fund almost to the dollar. And this, I added. The withdrawals from my account line up perfectly with their vacation dates. Aunt Martha examined the evidence we'd gathered. What are you planning to do, Hattie? I straightened the papers into a neat stack. First, I'm going to get back what's mine, and then I'm going to make sure they never forget what they did. The next morning, I met with Mr. Reynolds again to outline my plan. I need to get back into their house without raising suspicions, I explained, pacing his office. My grandmother's 5-year memorial is coming up next month. It's perfect timing. Be careful, Hattie. Your parents have proven they're willing to bend the law. That's exactly why this has to be airtight. I called my mother that evening, forcing my voice to sound small and defeated. Mom, I've been thinking about everything. Maybe I overreacted. Well, I'm glad you've come to your senses. This rebellious phase has been very disappointing. I bit my tongue so hard I tasted blood. I miss home, and I've been thinking about Grandma Elizabeth. Her 5-year memorial is coming up. We hadn't planned anything. I'd like to organize something. For closure, maybe at the lake house? The silence lasted so long I thought she'd hung up. The lake house isn't available for family functions. Oh? Who's renting it now? Another pause. We can discuss this when you come home. When will that be? Tomorrow, if that's okay. Walking back into my childhood home felt like entering enemy territory. Dad barely looked up from his newspaper. Glad you're done with your tantrum. I've had time to think, I said, hanging my coat in the closet where I'd hidden a small recording device in the pocket. I want to understand the financial decisions you've made. I'm an adult now. There's nothing to understand, Mom snapped. We did what was best for the family. I'd like to help plan Grandma's memorial. Maybe invite the extended family, show them how well you've managed her estate. That got their attention. My parents had always been obsessed with appearances. That's thoughtful, Mom said cautiously. We could host it here. The lake house would be more meaningful. It was her favorite place. That's not possible, Dad cut in. Why not? It's just sitting there empty, right? Their exchanged glance told me everything. Over the next 2 weeks, I played the perfect repentant daughter while systematically gathering evidence. I accidentally found rental agreements while helping Mom organize her office. I borrowed Dad's laptop to apply for internships and downloaded their financial records. Jake cornered me in the kitchen one night. What are you really doing back here? You hate them. I'm trying to make peace. Isn't that what you wanted? Bull, I saw you in Dad's office yesterday. Looking for stamps for Grandma's memorial invitations. Yeah? Then why'd you invite Mr. Reynolds? I saw his name on the guest list. I kept my face neutral. He was Grandma's lawyer for 30 years. It's respectful. You're planning something. I'm planning a memorial. Nothing more. Meanwhile, Monica helped me contact every relative and family friend. Your cousin Rachel confirmed. That's everyone except your Uncle Thomas. He'll come. He never trusted my parents. Aunt Martha worried as the memorial approached. Are you sure about this, Hattie? It'll burn every bridge. They already burned the bridges. I'm just making sure they can't rebuild them on their terms. The night before the memorial, I couldn't sleep. Everything was ready. The evidence organized, Mr. Reynolds prepared, the guests confirmed. My parents had spent a fortune catering the event, believing this was their chance to cement their reputation as devoted caretakers of Grandma Elizabeth's legacy. I sent Monica a text. Everything in place? Her reply came seconds later. Projector hidden, folders under seats. Aunt Martha has the backup drives. It's showtime tomorrow. I stared at the ceiling, a strange calm settling over me. After years of being told I didn't deserve anything, I was about to show them exactly what I deserved. Justice. The day of Grandma Elizabeth's memorial arrived with our living room filled with relatives and friends. Mom played the grieving daughter perfectly. Elizabeth always wanted us to celebrate her life. That's why we've maintained her properties exactly as she would have wanted. Uncle Thomas caught my cue. Speaking of properties, what happened to that beautiful lake house? We manage it as a rental. It generates income for the family trust. How is that trust distributed? Aunt Martha asked pointedly. Perhaps we should begin, Dad interrupted. Hattie has prepared something. I moved to the front where Monica had set up the projector. Grandma believed in honesty and fairness. I'd like to share how her legacy has been honored. The screen showed the lake house advertised as a luxury rental at $3,500 weekly. This is generating over $120,000 annually. Hattie, this is inappropriate. Mom stood abruptly. I clicked to bank statements showing transfers to Jake's fund and my parents' accounts. Here's where that money went. Not to the family trust, not to Grandma's charities, and definitely not to her designated heir, me. That's enough, Dad shouted. Actually, Mr. Reynolds stood, distributing folders. It's not nearly enough. These copies of Elizabeth's will clearly state the lake house and $340,000 were to go to Hattie upon her 21st birthday. You stole from your own daughter, Cousin Rachel gasped. We reallocated family resources, Mom sputtered. Jake needed what? A gaming system? While I worked double shifts because my college fund disappeared? I didn't know. Jake looked stricken. I've filed papers with the court, Mr. Reynolds continued. The lake house reverts to Hattie immediately, along with all misappropriated funds plus interest. The memorial dissolved into chaos. Mom fled upstairs while Dad tried desperately to explain. 6 months later, I moved into the restored lake house. The court awarded me my inheritance plus damages. My parents sent desperate apologies I never answered. On my 22nd birthday, Aunt Martha, Monica, Mr. Reynolds, and even Jake, now working to pay his own way through college, gathered at my lake house. To Hattie, Monica toasted, who showed us all what real strength looks like. As we watched the sunset over the lake that was rightfully mine, I felt something I'd never experienced in my parents' house. Peace. No forgiveness, no reconciliation. Just the sweet certainty that justice had been served. What would you have done in Hattie's position? Would you have publicly exposed your parents' betrayal in front of everyone? Or handled it privately through legal channels only? And the bigger question, do toxic family members deserve forgiveness when they apologize? Or was Hattie right to completely cut them off despite their attempts to reconcile? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this revenge story, hit that like button to help others find it too. Subscribe for more compelling stories like this one, and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. Thanks for watching.